Hi, icons. Welcome back to Literally No One Asked. I'm Maddie,
And I'm Rylee.
and we're two sisters who love creators like Drew Offawallow and Vanilla Mace. We love to dress up, and I'm a cosplayer, and I brought that love with her, and we want to bring that with you guys while ranking our lists.
So every week we dress up and create lists for categories that we think more people should be talking about. So we'll be here every week ranking topics that we think are important, and we hope you join us. But if you don't, that's okay because literally
No one asked.
So today we are going to be ranking our top 5 mythical creatures that we would buy for an ungodly amount of money on the black market.
Yes.
I loved fantasy growing up with like all these cute little critters, Barbie movie. I did. So this list was just a must. Had to go over all the mythical creatures from our childhood that I would now with adult money, I would buy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So my number 5 would be Care Bears.
Yes.
And for this episode, we also wanted to give a little bit of historical or the origin background for a lot of these mythical creatures. So for the Care Bears, they were originally created in 1981 by this woman named Alana. Sorry if I'm butchering it, girl. But she originally worked for like a greeting card company, and her boss tasked her with creating kind of new little caricatures or something to help the cards sell. So she had the bright idea of coming up with little bears, and each of the symbols on their bellies originally were for their most popular holidays. So that's where the 4-leaf clover one came in. I think there's a heart on one of the bears for like Valentine's Day and anniversaries. So the Care Bears started off with very cute origins, and they released in 1981s on the first cards. And within 2 years, they already had a full line of plushies out selling.
Yeah.
And within 4 years, they already had an animated series going. So Care Bears just absolutely took off. And I also found out that the same people, not all of them, but some of the same people who worked on Strawberry Shortcake, which is also a classic, helped work on the original Care Bears. So I was a huge Care Bear girl. I had like over 30 Care Bears growing up, and I would line them all up in a row and play with them. So I would do anything for a Care Bear. And in my research, I remembered that they have this little power called the Care Bear
Oh my
stare.
God. It's so cute. When she told me about this, it gave me like insta flashbacks to watching the movies, and I was like,
I know, I can imagine them in their like little cloud castle doing the Care Bear stare. But they all stand together and they like hold hands and they project light from their little symbols on their tummy. And that light projects like joy and happiness into the target. So they literally zap the grumpiness out of you. So we love Care Bears. They're just so cute.
And you know, with all of our mental illness love, I would love a Care Bear to bring me some happiness and joy.
Literally,
That
you're just
sounds
like
amazing.
care stare me down.
Yes. Jesus, Care Bear, take the wheel.
Care Bear, take the wheel. But the 10 original Care Bears were Bedtime Bear, Birthday Bear, Cheer Bear, Friend Bear, Funshine Bear, Good Luck Bear, Grumpy Bear, Love a Lot Bear, Tender Heart Bear, and Wish Bear. So those were the 10 OGs, and now I think there's like over 30. But you gotta give love to the Care Bears.
Absolutely, that's such a good one.
When I was doing this though, I was like, do you think if I did buy, let's say I was able to actually successfully buy a Care Bear off the black market, do you think it would stay like little Care Bear size, or do you think I'd have a bear?
It's gonna give like JoJo Siwa where you think they're small and they're almost 7 feet tall. That's what it gives. So I don't know. I'd
I'd
want
have to
them
keep
to
it
be
in
small.
a cage, but
Why is it in a cage? It growled at me.
okay, maybe not in a cage, but I'm just like, where am I gonna put this giant bear?
I give you happiness for my tummy. It's a big.
And I'm like, get in your cage.
Go sit in the corner.
Just kidding, it can roam free.
My number 5 is Kurama, and for this one, I realized for pretty much all of them, I had a stuffed animal of them, so I wanted to bring a little guest for along with these. So, obviously, I love Naruto. I literally have Naruto tattoo, yes, and it's just like one of the OGs. It's just so good. So, but the reason why number 5, obviously, he's just so cute, okay? And Rylee was like, "Why would you want him? He's scary and he's huge, you know." Okay, but when Naruto like tamed him though, and they were like tight and they're besties, and she also didn't watch Boruto, so I can't say too much. Also, spoilers for viewers, but he's just a real one, and I would want him. He would just, he would get his own house. He'd get his own land, if I'm rich in this theoretical sense of buying him off the black market, I would just get a really big land and put him there. But Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, was inspired by just like the Japanese folklore of kitsune, which are just like foxes in Japan, but they're more like spiritual throughout like their folklore. But like the tales that they have represent like how old they are, how wise they are, and 9 is the greatest. And then the show, the different tailed beast, Kurama is the last one because he has the 9 tails, so he's the oldest and the wisest. So that's what it was inspired by. And Naruto came out, animated anime itself came out in 2002. So I wasn't even born yet. I was born in 2004.
No, yeah, when you were like, Kurama, I was like,
He's number 5 since he's number 5 since he's so big.
but,
you know?
and that's what the next question I was going to ask you is, would you put the 9 tails inside of you? Like, type Naruto be? Or is he going to be
Bro,
like,
I'm down
chilling neighbors?
Bro, I'm down to be Jinchuriki, but I also kind of just want him as like a pet, like neighbors kind of vibe, Yeah, because he's so big. That also look painful. Him having to be the Jinchuriki with the seal. I think I'm okay.
Hey, quick break. Just wanted to let you know that this episode is brought to you by, well, me. When I'm not dressing up and recording this podcast, I actually run a business, and it's called Rylee Social Media Services. I work with brands, entrepreneurs, and creatives, all to help them grow their strategies, create engaged audiences, and create content that actually resonates. So if you're ready to grow your social media, check the show notes for a special discount just for you. So my number 4 would be a hippogriff, but specifically Buckbeak from the Harry Potter franchise. So hippogriffs are real creatures. They were first cited in 1500s Italian Renaissance literature. That's like when they first saw any writing of a hippogriff. But the creature is a body of a horse and the head of a bird of prey, typically like an eagle or a hawk or something like that. And I got into Harry Potter late. When I grew up, it was okay. Like I watched most of the Harry Potters because all my cousins loved them, but I didn't really care for them. But then this last year, I watched them on my own. I'm sorry. I get the hype. I love Harry Potter now. And my personal favorite is The Prisoner of Azkaban. So not only is that where Buckbeak is in that movie, but I also just loved him when I watched the movie. Like he reminds me of kind of like a dog, or I don't know, because they're like a lot on respect and he bows down to them, and then they create this super loyal relationship, and he's there for Harry. So I would totally love to not only have a hippogriff, but I specifically want Buckbeak. I want Buckbeak. And my family knows I love Buckbeak, so I have 2 Buckbeak stuffed animals. I have a Buckbeak shirt, of Buckbeak little trinkets around my house. So I would love a Buckbeak, and I could save on gas. I wouldn't have to participate to global warming. I could just fly my little Buckbeak around.
You'll be Buckbeaked up.
I'll be Buckbeaked up.
No, and when we were talking about this, I was like, it's so interesting. Like you said, they're just actually a mythical creature in real life or whatever. And so another anime that I love, and you watched a little bit of but didn't finish, is Delicious in Dungeon. And in that, they also talk about the hippogriffs in there. And in that, they eat the creatures in the dungeon. So yeah, they be eating Buckbeak.
They eat Buckbeak?
They be eating Buckbeak. No, Buckbeak. Black market. I mean,
yeah, it's not just for buying; it's the black market. So.
And my number 4 is Totoro. And I actually did have a stuffed animal for this, but I left him. Sorry, King. Totoro came out in 1988, and it came out alongside the movie Grave of Fireflies, also by Miyazaki for Studio Ghibli, however you want to say it. And that one is so sad. But Totoro was a little more lighthearted than that one. And Miyazaki was wanting to show his love of nature. And my favorite one, Princess Mononoke, showed how man is really horrible to nature, but Totoro really just shows the love of nature between nature and man. And there's a belief in Japan, the Shinto belief, where even something like a rock or a tree will have spirit and have life in it. And so he wanted to show that in Totoro. And so there's all the little, and I guess that they're the translation for Totoro is actually troll. So that's why it's spirit, because in America or other places like Ireland and whatever, troll is their spiritual mythical creature. But Totoro himself was inspired by tanukis, which are basically also little spirits there, but they're Japanese raccoons. They're so cute. That's what Tom Nook is inspired
Oh.
by. And then also cats. And there's going to be a lot of cats during this thing because we're cat people and we love cats. But I would want him so much, so bad. He would just be like a big comfy bed and pillow.
Yeah.
And I literally also have a Totoro tattoo. It was like one of the other first movies, like anime movies that we had watched together. And so,
Yeah, I think it was my very first anime movie that I had ever watched. I have like a specific memory of us sitting on our like childhood family couch watching Totoro for the first time. So that one also just holds a special place in my heart. And I would love a Totoro.
yeah.
I would
Oh,
love a Totoro.
1,000%. And they're all called the Totoros, like we were talking about with this. So there's like the small, like little white one or whatever, and then there's big Totoro. I'm talking about big boy. I want the big boy. He looks like Snorlax.
Give me a big
I'm pretty sure Snorlax was probably inspired by Totoro too, from Pokemon. But
And speaking of Studio Ghibli inspirations, that actually brings me to my number 3.
yes, good segue.
So my number 3 is Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So in Avatar: The Last Airbender, we have Aang, and he is part of the. Why am I blanking? What's his tribe called? The Air Nomads?
Yeah, right?
Somebody fact check me. Aang is part of like the Air Nomads, and when I was doing a little bit of research about Appa, they actually their clan was very inspired by the water bison, which is what Appa is. He's a flying water buffalo. And so that's like kind of like their coming of age, or like a thing that you do in the clan is you get the Appa's symbols like on you. So that's where the arrow comes from, is they're trying to pay homage to the bisons that are then their spirit guides. So they're like very, very close with the bison, and you call the bison from doing your yip yip, or I think Aang has like a little whistle that he can do for Appa. But I also read that the creators were inspired by Cat Bus from My Neighbor Totoro for Appa, which totally makes sense because Appa's like super long and they ride on him like a bus. So I would love Appa to cuddle, to ride around, to protect me. I could he's so big I could just like hide in his fur, you know what I mean? So I would love an Appa. I probably wouldn't even need a home.
No,
I could just live on Appa.
Okay, you know what? And I didn't choose cat bus because I was like, girl, I can't be cuddling a bus. I guess I could cuddle him on the inside. I'm scared.
I'm scared.
Then get back. I'm scared. So no, that's why I chose Totoro, not cat bus. But we love you, cat bus. So shouts out cat bus.
Exactly.
Okay, my number 3 is My Little Pony, and so I'm gonna like briefly mention OG My Little Pony, but I'm really gonna be talking about Friendship is Magic. And so the OG came out in 1982 for the toys, and it was originally called My Pretty Pony, but then a year later they changed it to My Little Pony. So 1983 was My Little Pony introduced as the toys, but it got its original cartoon show in 1986. But this one, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, came out in 2010, and it just like blew up. It was really popular, like not just amongst children. I'm sure everybody knows what bronies are and all the things. Like it was a big deal. But I like in 2010 I was 6 since I was born in 2004, so I was literally the demographic. So shit was fire. Loved it so much. This one brought my Fluttershy for this, but one Halloween I was Luna, and so that's why today Rylee is Princess Celestia.
Yes, had to give my Little Pony representation. I remember My Little Ponies ran our house growing up, so had to pay homage to Queen Celestia herself today.
And she may not have the wings, but we're just don't even worry about
I got the
it.
wig. I got the rainbow wig. I'm
Yes.
giving royalty.
You're so
the
current-y.
white, so
Is giving. But I would really want one just because also you can ride them as well. They're actual horses. I've always been a horse girl. I love horses, period. Like our dream, we're going to own a farm together and I'm going to have so many horses. But they're just so cute. And like, I would want them to like actually be how they are in the show. So like they talk and like, you know, they're so they'd be like a bestie. That's why they're ranked a little higher. And I love horses. So they have a little oomph in there, and I owned a lot of pops of them, so I really love My Little Ponies. That's why they're number 3.
amazing.
And our honorable mention for this episode before we get into our middle segment is the Megalodon. I'm also a shark girly. I love sharks so much. We would watch Shark Week growing up, and yeah, I just love them. They're puppies of the ocean to me, okay? And we were talking about this, and she was like, girl, they're not mythical.
Yeah, I was like, Maddie, like, who's on your list? And first she was like, blah, 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 Kurama, Megalodon. I was like, Bestie babes. They were real.
And then I was like, okay, another fair argument is like with all these other ones, they're more reasonable to obtain and buy off the black market. Girl, how are they gonna catch a megalodon? Like that thing gonna eat them alive.
Where are you
Like,
going to store it?
where am I gonna put it? Yeah, so
You'd have to own an aquarium. And even then, that's kind of inhumane. You'd have to own an ocean.
I would literally have to own an ocean, and that's not happening. So yeah, but honorable mention is the megalodon. Shouts out, girl.
Okay, so every week we do a new middle section. We're trying to see what sticks, what you guys like, what's the most fun for us to do. So let us know what you like the best. But this week we are going to be doing the drawing characters from memory. So I have a character picked out. I'm going to tell it to her. She's going to try to draw in 30 seconds, we say?
Yeah,
Let's do 30 seconds. Okay. So she has 30 seconds to draw it. You'll be able to see the time, her drawing, and then we'll see the grand reveal, and I'll compare it to, I'll pull up a picture of them for real.
And I do draw. I am an artist. Don't judge them off of this. Do not judge my skills off of this.
Okay, the character that I'm going to be giving you is Kirby.
Okay, go.
27, 26. As you can see from my thing, I set a lot of 20, 30-minute timers. Okay, got 20 seconds, girl. You're doing amazing. Artiste. Okay, you're down to your last 10 seconds. Get in any defining characteristics. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done.
Okay, this is my beautiful Kirby.
Oh, wait, that's so cute.
What do we think of her? Chat, what do we think? Sorry, I said chat. That's scary. What do we think? Okay,
Wait. Hold him up. I'm going to show a real picture of Kirby.
okay. This is my Kirby. And now,
Okay. Honestly, I think you know, he's waving in this one. But
he definitely is giving more Goomba. If I,
yeah, he's giving, but
giving BBL baddie.
I would
Fine.
give you like a solid B plus.
I think so too. I got the little arms. I got the feet. I
Like-
got his eyes. I got his little blush even.
If I saw that, I would definitely just think that's Kirby. Yeah.
Yay! All right, my character for you is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Okay.
I felt like that's not actually that bad.
Okay, tell me. You're
I believe
gonna
in you.
start it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, all your 30-minute timers are so funny. You got this, queen.
Oh my, he kind of looks like a bear right now.
That's okay. He'll give dog. He has a tail. That's, dogs got tails. Bear's got a little like, kind of like a bunny tail. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh no.
And your time is up.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no, girly pop, what? Oh, you did amazing, sweetie. And
I gave him a little
share with
scared
the
expression.
class.
And I couldn't decide where to put his mouth. At first I had like a little circle right here, but then I was like, oh no, he has a snout over here. So
All right, and let's share.
oh, but you see where I was going for with the protruding
yes.
snout?
No, yes.
Oh, I messed up his ears so bad. I gave him like otter ears.
That's okay. You know what? He's really cute though. So
you.
regardless, he's really cute.
So
He's really cute regardless. You still ate though.
thank you. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for. So we have Maddie as a cuntified Bibble today because Bibble is my number 2. Not only were we Barbie movie girlies growing up, watched all of the Barbie movies, but I love Bibble. Like, Bibble had a rise a couple years ago where Bibble was in a bunch of memes. I saw college girls with Bibble flags in their dorm room. Need one of those.
Yep.
I saw one picture and it was like the holy Bibble.
The Bibble uprising is so real. Truly, the Bibble Renaissance.
The Bibble Renaissance, the dawning of Bibble.
Yes.
So when I like first thought of this category of creatures I would buy on the black market, Bibble was the first one that came to mind. Bibble was the first one that I wanted to buy. And when I was doing a little bit of research about Bibble, Bibble is canonically a guy. It's a little guy.
Yeah.
And
He's just a little guy.
he's just a little guy, and they're called pet puffballs in Barbie. That's like his breed. He's a pet puffball. Like how we have cats, that's a pet puffball.
It's giving Club Penguin,
It is giving Club Penguin.
where you get your inspo.
And I thought Bibble was only in the Fairytopia movie, but upon doing more research, first of all, did you know there's 43 Barbie movies?
Oh,
There's 43. I thought there was like 10. Like I remember Princess and the Pauper, Fairytopia. No, there's 43.
Like they're bangers, but 43 is
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
No, there's so many. So when Bibble has been in 4 of them. He was in Fairytopia 2005, Barbie Mariposa 2008, Barbie Fairytopia Magic of the Rainbow 2007, and Barbie Mermaidia in 2006.
Oh
So
my God.
Bibble 8.
Oh,
But I think Bibble's so cute. I think if Bibble was real, he would probably be like,
yeah, that's
yay
what
big.
he gave.
And he just be like,
You do it so good. I was like, girl, I cannot do that as much as I would love to live out my voice acting fantasy. Can't do that.
it's a people.
Yes, work.
So my number 2 is Bibble. Almost number 1.
Yeah,
But I love. You'll see why he's not my number 1.
exactly. Okay, and my number 2 is Pochita from Chainsaw Man. I also have a Chainsaw Man tattoo. Obviously, it's one of my favorites, even though it's like newer. It's so good, and the manga came out in 2018. And Tatsuki Fujimoto is the creator, and he is crazy, but he is so good. And in the world of Chainsaw Man, there's like devils, and there's people that will, go kill the devils or whatever, and they're brought on by things that people are afraid of. So there's the death devil, the falling devil, all those different types of things. So he is the chainsaw devil. That's why he has a little chainsaw. But he's like kind of like modeled after a dog. Like he's so cute and so sweet. And in the edit you saw, like if you haven't seen it, he's like actually so nice. And that's why he was different. He like actually cares for Denji, who is like the main character. And actually in Japan, there is a chainsaw model that is like an actual chainsaw that is exactly like this. The orange, the handle, everything. So he modeled Pochita after a legit chainsaw. But I had him as my number 2 because, first of all, he's adorable. I feel like he would be bigger than this, but he wouldn't be huge. He would be like a good size. But he's just so sweet. And he's strong too. That's the thing. He could protect me. So he's like guard dog. He's sweet, but he guard dog.
He said,
Yeah, literally. So I love Pochita so much, but
I would have a Pochita too. They're so cute.
yeah, he's so baby.
Perfect. And finally, for my number 1, I picked Toothless or a Night Fury, but I would specifically want Toothless. I would have any Night Fury, but I want Toothless.
Yep.
And so this clip right here, when I was researching Toothless, I read that the creators and animators stuck a piece of paper to his cat's tail and recorded him running around and reacting to it. And they used this exact video for Toothless for the first time that he puts his tail on. So it's like almost the exact same movements. So I just really loved that. And throughout the whole How to Train Your Dragon, I'm specifically talking about the cartoon. I have not seen the live action one yet, but I am so excited because I saw like a screen by screen of the live action and the cartoon, and they look almost the same.
Wow.
So please don't let me down. But when I watched How to Train Your Dragon, the whole time I was like, Toothless is cat coded. But then researching it, and it was confirmed, like, yeah, Toothless was modeled after the animator's cats and stuff like that. I love Toothless so much. And kind of the same thing as Appa, Buckbeak. Wow, I just realized there's a theme. I love things that fly.
Yep.
I have a fantasy of riding on the back of a dragon.
Yes.
So Toothless would be my number 1.
And when you were saying the cat coded, it came to my mind. I'm like, no queer coded, cat coded, very cat coded.
Very cat coded of them. So Toothless, I would pay literally whatever money. I'll take out a
Ungodly
loan.
money. That's why it's an ungodly amount of money, because all of these mythical creatures would not be cheap. That's a pretty penny. Like, I'm about to have to get in Squid Games for that.
Period.
And my number 1 is Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas, and that movie came out in 1993. And obviously everyone knows Tim Burton, and pretty much everybody has watched this movie. But it was like a tradition in our family to watch it for both Christmas and Halloween. So yeah, from October to December, we were watching that movie.
At least once a week.
At least once a week. So, and when growing up, when we would go to Disneyland, you'll learn we've been to Disneyland a lot. Love Disney. Not the company. Anyway,
The happiest place on earth. Not the company.
Yep, clock that. I had a Zero plushie, and his nose actually glue, and it made me so happy, and I wish I still had him. But I had him as my number 1 for like that nostalgia reason, because even though I love Pochita and Chainsaw Man so much, like Zero had that upper hand of nostalgia of having that plushie when I was young and loving that movie so much. And he's so cute. And doing this, learning that Tim Burton wanted to. He has a bunch of different dogs. Like there's the Frankenweenie and the Corpse Bride. He also has a dog, and that one's like a skeleton dog and whatever. And then there's the Frankenstein dog. So he's done a bunch of different undead dogs. But for Zero, he wanted to show like the way ghost dogs are normally depicted, almost like how there's a cloak over them and you can see their eyes like a regular ghost or whatever. But he really wanted to, with that Christmas aspect, also put like the glowing nose, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So that's why it's like the glowing jack-o'-lantern on his nose, and that's just so cute. He's just so cute. Like he's just a cute little dog, and he phases through. He's already dead, so he's not gonna die. That's amazing.
Amazing. Wait,
Amazing.
I need that because then you could just have him forever. And you never have to go through your pet passing away.
Yep.
Need me a zero. Need me a zero.
Need me a zero right now. So yeah, number one for that reason. I love him so much, and it was I love that movie. It's so good.
A classic.
Yep.
Okay, well, I think we have officially gone through all of our creatures that we would buy for ungodly amounts of money on the black market.
Yep.
So it's time to crown a winner. I'm sorry, Toothless. I'm putting in
Honestly,
Toothless.
I think Toothless wins this one because as much as I love Zero, Toothless has so many more ups. Like the flying, he's a big ass kitty essentially.
He's so cute.
He's
like
just
once
so
you're
cute.
good,
He's so much like even though like dogs are loyal and Zero's loyal, like Toothless is also smart. He's really smart. He'll be there to save you. Yeah, you can literally fly and ride on him. You save gas again, like we said with Appa and Buckbeak. So
Exactly.
I think Toothless wins this one.
Yes. So Toothless, you would be the one that we save to buy on the black market. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was our list of mythical creatures we would buy for ungodly amounts of money on the black market. Let us know who we missed, who would make it on your list, who are you taking out a loan for, and we would love to see. Thank you for watching this week's episode. Every week we try to give a little hint for the next episode. So the clue for next week is think about your +1 to a party very carefully. So thank you. We hope to catch you next week. And if not, that's okay because literally
No one asked.
thank you.
And back again is me. I'm also here to tell you that this episode's brought to you by me. I run my small business donor cause, so if you're ever in the SLC area and you want to grow your natural nails strong and healthy with intricate custom nail art, you'll come to me for that, of course. And you can see more information for that in the show notes below.